Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today with a mass bowler strategy. Now this strategy is totally OP, is taking over the game. These are going to be some awesome max bases and these attacks are going to be absolutely devastating. Now I brought you a minor bowler strategy that I shared a couple days ago, and then previous to that I brought you the bowler clone strategy. Now this is going to be straight up mass bowlers. Haven't brought you this one yet, and this is definitely the most popular in the game right now, mainly because people haven't yet had the opportunity to max out their clone spell or their miners yet. So this is what people have been using more often than not in wars, and we're seeing tons, and I mean tons, of 3-star attacks using this strategy. So we will go over some of the strategy tips and, the how-tos, but basically with any spam type attack, it's pretty easy, right? You create a funnel, you spam the troop into the core, use rage spells, use the Eternal Tome ability, and the rest is history. So starting out, as you saw, you're basically going to want to start out with either a bowler walk using only 5 bowlers, no need to use more, or your queen, and you have 3 rage spells, so you can definitely liberally use those rage spells to keep your queen or your bowlers alive. Obviously, in an ideal scenario, you'd like to use 2 rage spells in the core of the base. It's really going to help out, especially with the synergy of the Eternal Tome ability and the rage spell. You're totally going to do some heavy damage in the core of the base using these bowlers. So between the bowler mechanic being changed, that they get into their throws much faster, and the fact that their housing space has been reduced, it really lends itself to the viability of these mass bowler attacks. So let's talk a little bit about the army and the spell composition here. Now I said that I actually prefer the clone spell and 2 jumps and 1 rage on my attacks, but because most of you probably don't have maxed out clone spell yet, I tend to go with this comp that you saw here, used by none other than Michael Jordan. And what he did was he used 2 jump spells and 3 rage spells, and that's going to work really well, because you can, like I said, you can use those rage spells to help with your queen walk or your bowler walk, and then you can use some in the core, and the 2 jump spells can pretty much open up any base. Now this is a more compartmentalized base here, and I'm bringing you this one in contrast to the more spread out design on base 1. I'll also be sure to include a trophy base or 2 in today's video, just so you can get the idea of how this attack might change depending on the type of base that you're attacking. So here Kirby's going to go ahead and start out from around 6 o'clock on this attack with his queen walk. He's actually, this is a very fast moving attack, so you have the luxury as the attacker just to make sure that your queen goes in the direction that you anticipate her going. So you can see here, kind of sitting back here, there's no need to rush into the second phase of this attack. You're just setting up one side of the funnel right here very easily. Now that he knows his queen is definitely heading towards 9 o'clock clockwise, he's going to go ahead and drop his golem in the clan castle, few wizards, and then these attacks really require anywhere from 25 to 27 bowlers. And now once you have that funnel created, you can see the wizards do a good job creating that funnel. Here come all the bowlers heading right into the core of this base. Now if you look at the base wall structure right now, you can see that he really does not have enough jump spells, enough mobility spells to open up the entire base. But that's totally okay, because that's the beautiful thing about these bowlers in comparison to the mass Valk attacks. I actually brought an episode about a month ago now using mass Valkyries, 27 to 30 Valkyries on bases like this, and of course the issue there is, unlike bowlers, they don't have a ranged attack, so you need to really bring 3 jump spells or in combination of earthquake spells with the Valkyries, and that really ends up taking a lot of your spell slots. And even with the 3 or 4 spells, sometimes you do have to bring, or 3 or 4 jump spells, sometimes you do still have to bring back end hogs or something, because the Valks can get stuck on the walls. With these bowlers, they attack right over the walls, and that's the beautiful thing about the mass bowlers attack. They don't do as much DPS, but certainly we can get them into the core of the base under a rage spell. They do a heck of a lot of damage. And moving on here, you can see Kirby's attacking my village now with his mass bowler attack, and he's going to start out with a bowler walk instead of a queen walk, and you're going to see how these bowlers will merge very nicely into the main army here. So doing a little bit of work here. Like I said, a very fast moving attack. Bowlers make quick work of bases, so you don't have to be worried as much about time as you do compared to, say, a queen walk with a multi-phase attack, so like a go-ho type attack where you have a back-end hogs or loons or whatever you're using on the back end as well. These actually work much quicker here. So against a base like this with a town hall in the core, kind of a ring, funky AI base, what you want to do with these bowler attacks is you totally ignore the core of the base, right? So what Kirby did here, he only brought 1 jump spell just to get through that perimeter wall, and then the bowlers are so strong when used in such a mass quantity like this that they actually make their way all around the base, and I'll tell you what, guys, almost none of these bowlers die. It's really incredible. This really goes to show you, this attack in particular, just how strong the bowlers are when used in masses of 25 plus now. So he uses a freeze spell instead of that second jump spell. He's able to freeze that second Inferno Tower by a little bit more time. You can see the healers still all locked on to that huge group of bowlers. So at this point, these bowlers still alive. They bleed through that second Inferno Tower. No big deal, moving their way towards the around 1 or 2 o'clock on the base. And pretty soon, there's going to be nothing left on this base except for the Town Hall in the core. And they're just going to easily make their way with about 30 to 40 seconds to spare. Like I said, fast moving, really strong attack. I don't know if, you know what, a lot of people will probably say, hey, you know, Ash, Supercell's just going to go ahead and nerf these bowlers now. Now that they're so powerful, they're going to be nerfed. But you know what, they did not do that with Valkyries, so I'm not so sure that's the direction they will go with bowlers. Maybe they just like having bowlers be this viable in the game right now. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the last replay of today's episode. Again, a strong anti-3 setup here. This time Slugger Viking attacking it. And it's, again, starting out with a Queen Walk. You do want to start out with a Queen Walk or a Bowler Walk just to get that side of the funnel established. And then you can use your Golem and the Wizards or Bowlers to establish the other side of the funnel. Obviously, creating a funnel is paramount in these attacks. If you don't do that, then you might as well kiss your chances at a 3-star goodbye, certainly. And it might even be difficult to pull off a 2-star. So there's the Golem. Here comes the 5 or so Wizards behind the Golem. That funnel has been created. And here come the Bowlers in 2 nice single file lines, obviously deploying them as quickly as possible so they stay relatively together to soak up that Eternal Tome ability. And you can see here's the jump spell number 1. Jump spell number 2 has already been placed. The minions can cause a little bit of an issue in the core. That's why as soon as you get that rage spell down, you want to go ahead and pop that Eternal Tome ability. And from there on out, it's going to be smooth sailing here. Now, obviously, the base isn't totally opened up again, but those bowlers will do a good job cleaning out that whole midsection of the base. And then around the perimeter, Slugger will go ahead and slowly trickle in some minions to help with the cleanup, and he's still sitting on his Queen's Royal Cloak ability. So again, this strategy is so amazing. I really love it. If you guys want to see more mass bowler type attacks, I am actually looking for Town Hall 10 mass bowler replays, but I'm in a strange situation with my alliance. We have 8 clans, but for whatever reason, they tend to be all either max Town Hall 11 or max Town Hall 9, and I have a tricky time getting a hold of really nice Town Hall 10 replays. So if you have a nice bowler walk replay as a Town Hall 10, I would love to record it and check it out and come visit your clan. So just let me know in the comments below. Just make sure it's against a max base with a full clan castle. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it, and as always, take care, guys.